Good morning, everyone. Kanaju here, and today's video is a bit odd. I'm going to be talking about the new No Man's Sky Outlaws update. I just watched the trailer, took a look at all the patch notes, so I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what it's added and what I think this means for the game going forward. This is it's a pretty exciting update. It's added a ton of stuff people have been waiting for years, specifically capes, but also outlaw stations and things like that. But let me not get ahead of myself. So Outlaws update 3.85, which interesting, by the way. I was expecting it to be 3.9. Kind of leads me to believe there might be one more update before the big 4.0 update, presumably this summer, but we'll see. So let's get into the patch notes. And if you haven't watched the trailer yet, you should. It's pretty awesome. So solar ships, that's one of the big flagship features. No pun intended. But these are pretty cool. It's the first time. So since the game launched in 2016, the only new ships we've gotten are in 2017 we got exotic type ships, and in 2020 I believe we got living ships. So those are the only new ships we've gotten. So this is incredible, getting a new class of ship. And from the screenshots and video I've seen, they seem pretty varied. So that's really exciting. I mean, you can see them here in this screenshot. They look really cool. And for what I can tell, this might be wrong, but it seems like when you use them in atmosphere, the sails close, which makes sense because they wouldn't be aerodynamic. But when you're in space, when there's no, air resistance, they're completely open, which is cool. Also here you can take a look at some of the new large ship engine effects, which is something they improved in this update. But going forward, this is a big feature as well, Outlaw Stations. Now, if you've ever been to an abandoned space station, you'll know, they're pretty creepy, pretty atmospheric, but they're almost less useful than normal ones because there isn't anything to do. But this appears to be a new class of station altogether, Outlaw Stations. As you can see here, they're like sort of dilapidated, overrun. They've got some pretty cool vendors here, unique mission givers, stuff like that. And apparently you won't be able to warp to these from regular space stations because these are illegal. So in systems like this with outlaw space stations, there actually won't be any space sentinels. So if you commit a crime or anything like that, they won't send the police after you, which is interesting. I like that idea that, some space stations can have different rules and laws than others. I think it makes the game more exciting and more variable. But I mean, this just looks awesome. I cannot wait to explore this new location. And I don't know how procedural these are going to be. It doesn't say they're procedural, but I guess we'll see. Improved space combat. Now this is something I've been asking for, and a lot of people have been asking for a long time. I'll get more into it in the patch notes below, but they've rebalanced a lot of things. And as you can see from this little GIF here, they also have like Starship shields and things like that. I know, it's pretty cool, the changes they've made. And here we can see your freighter, which now you can, well, I won't get ahead of myself. But okay, dramatic explosions, of course. They're always upgrading the visual effects. It seems like every update now they update some visual effect. And I think that's great, the game keeps looking better and better and better. Passing frigate fleets. So this is something I have been wanting since day one, because if you go all the way back to the first trailer well, it wasn't the first trailer, it was one of the first trailers in like 2014 or so. They have like you blink and you miss it, but in one of those like 3-second shots, there's like a freighter quietly passing by in the background while you're on a planet. And so people have been asking for that since then, and it looks like we're finally getting it. You can finally see frigates in motion for the first time. But in addition to that, you'll also see them, above planetary surfaces for the first time. So that's just going to make the game even more beautiful, as always. Have some more screenshots here. Cool. Smuggling. Now this is an interesting new mechanic. So, as you know, there are smugglers in the game, NPC smugglers, but now you can play the role of the smuggler. says here, purchase contraband goods from outlaw stations, shuttle them across regulated systems to sell for a large profit. Now that sounds like a very risky way of making money, but I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are going to enjoy that. So it says now system authorities can scan passing ships and probe their cargo. So much like how pirates can initiate a scan and look for valuable cargo, now the sentinels can scan for illegal contraband. But it says here that you can install countermeasures in the form of a cargo probe deflector. Hopefully that also applies to pirate scans. So for those who want to avoid combat altogether, they can just, install that and sort of keep the pirates from scanning their ship. Oh look, they added Gra back to the game. Oh my gosh. For those who don't know, this was sort of the same way you have like Geknip. When the game first launched in 2016, you also had Gra, which was sort of like the Viking thing that you would inhale. It was like a gas, and it makes you like stronger, maybe more aggressive, things like that. But oh, it looks like they've added it back. Ooh, and first spawn relics. That is cool. Anyways, let me not get back to this stuff. That is really cool. For all you lore junkies out there. Okay, in-atmosphere combat. Now this has been there since Atlas Rises, actually. It doesn't seem like they've added much to it other than, from what I've read in the patch notes below, now you can actually be attacked by pirates in atmosphere. So if you're just like flying along the surface of a planet, I suppose it's now possible for them to scan and attack you. Which kind of scares me because my tactic for pirates has always been to just fly down to a planetary surface to kill their scan, but maybe that won't work anymore. Guess we'll see. Now this is something people have really been asking for, ship cargo hold. So just like how your backpack has a cargo inventory, now your ship can have a cargo inventory, which, fantastic. I mean, no negatives there for me. It's just giving us more inventory space, which now that we can, haul illegal cargo, that's great. Squadrons. Now, oh my gosh, again, this is another feature people have wanted since like 2013, 2014. In those old trailers, you would see like ships flying alongside you, pretty much like this, in formation. And that's what people wanted, the ability to kind of like have like crew that could join you, wingmen. And now you can actually hire like your own wingmen, as it says here, manage and upgrade them. So you can have your own little crew, and whenever you get into combat, they'll like fly to your side and assist you. And you can also call or dismiss them at any time when you're just flying around. So that's awesome. Now you're like a wing commander, a flight leader here. That is so cool. So I look forward to trying that soon. This ship just looks beautiful. Look at that. Yeah, I'm definitely getting one of these. Speaking of which, now you can own up to 9 starships instead of the 6 previously. Which means I don't have to get rid of any of the ones I already have to add these new ones to my fleet. Man, these look so cool. They look like 1940s and 50s bombers, don't they? Oh, they look so cool. I love that little cape. But, so neat. Looking forward to that. So, you can now completely fill out your freighter. Cloth. Now this is cool because people have been asking for capes for a long time since Origins dropped and like one character in the artwork had a cape on. But the only character in the game to ever have a cape I think was Nada, maybe Apollo, but Nada for sure. But Nada never walks around. So I always wondered how they would implement capes, and it looks like they've added complete cloth simulation to the game. But on top of that, apparently the capes are also completely customizable. So much like your character, you can change colors, patterns, things like that. And it just looks so cool. And if you look here, they've also added hoods to the game, which I don't know how customizable those are, but I look forward to giving it a shot. So Space Combat Autopilot. Now this is cool. It's more of an accessibility feature, but basically you can enable this autopilot so that when you get into a combat encounter, the game will sort of pilot for you. It'll automatically follow your target ship. And of course you can still pilot and make adjustments and stuff, but it allows you to focus on like firing and switching weapons and stuff like that. And now that combat's a little more nuanced and you have to think about those things a little bit more, in theory, I think that's a cool way to make it easier for people who don't really enjoy space combat or who have difficulty with like faster paced gameplay. So I'm all for that. I'm not going to use it obviously, but you know, for those who do, that's a really cool addition. Here we have a shot of man, these space stations look cool, don't they? I mean, look at this. One of these landing pads is being used for, I don't even know what that is. Oh, and yeah, it does have a teleporter, so I guess you can access it from your bases, but not from legal space stations. That's a really cool touch. I cannot wait to explore this place. The Blighted Expedition. Expedition 6 Blighted will be commencing soon. That sounds cool. A distant galaxy has been terrorized by pirates known as the Blight, and the time has come for their secret to be revealed. Journey across the stars in search of mysterious treasure in this brand new narrative-driven expedition. Now, I like that they highlighted narrative-driven. If you've watched my channel, you'll know my favorite expedition was Expedition 4, which was the only narrative-driven expedition up to this point. It's head and shoulders more enjoyable than the rest of them, and part of that is you were following a story, you were getting lore, you were discovering mysteries, and it looks like this next expedition might deliver on that same premise. You'll get, of course, cool rewards as always, including a battle-worn outlaw cape. So if you want like a badass, like sort of distressed cape like this, you're going to want to complete the expedition. And of course, I think you should always play these things anyways, because they're a lot of fun. But wow, look at these posters. Edgy. And new banners and flags. I like it. I like it. And it looks like you can also get this wayward cube, which, for those of you who didn't know, for a while there was a bug where this like sort of cube would fly around in the space stations. And they patched it out, and people were kind of sad about it. I was glad because I thought it was really immersion breaking, but it looks like they've added it back as like as an addition to your base, so that's really cool. I'll probably add that to one of my bases as an Easter egg or something, but that's a really cool reward for the fans. Under a Rebel Star. So explore outlaw systems and their motives in a series of new missions. Earn rewards such as new titles or the exclusive Shroud of Freedom hood customization. So maybe you only get the hood through this. Now this is cool because it's a new quest line. So as you know, I'm a big fan of when these little updates come with like small quests to introduce you to new features and things like that. And Sentinel, the little quest line that came with that one, I thought that was really cool. I enjoyed it. And I'm guessing this will be of similar length, you know, nothing too involved, but I'm looking forward to giving it a try. I love any new story content. Twitch campaign, it says here, Thursday, April 14th through Monday, April 18th. We're going to be getting, well, excuse me, that's my stomach there. I haven't eaten breakfast yet, but we're going to be getting Twitch campaign drops, which I love that. It's always an excuse to go watch Twitch creators. Even if you're not going to watch them, you know, put them on in the background, give them some views, stuff like that. So that's really cool. Look forward to that. Make sure you have your Twitch account linked. Starship energy shields. Again, part of the new rebalanced space combat. You can now visually see, you know, enemy starship shields. And the different weapons you use will have different effects. So some weapons will be better at taking down shields, some will do more damage against unshielded enemies, and then so you'll be switching and balancing that throughout combat. So now, like me, I typically only use like, well, no, that's not true. I use multiple weapons in my ship, but now I'll have to be more mindful of which ones I'm using at which stage of battle. So I like that. There's a little more thought, hopefully, going into combat. Interstellar Piracy. So, Sentinel interceptors will now respond to attacks on planetary trade routes. I thought they already did that. But it says the profit available to those who would prey on trader ships or passing freighters has been increased. So that's cool, because I mean, you know, you could always be a pirate and attack ships and stuff, but it never seemed like it was worth the effort, you know, to get the Sentinels on you and everything. But now it seems like maybe it will be. And on top of that, if you lose your reputation, which is interesting. So I wonder if now we can view our reputation in one of the menus, but it says you can restore your reputation by presenting a forged passport to the station core within any regulated space station. So from what I understand, you can earn forged passports by doing unique missions for pirates and mercenaries in these outlaw systems. So now it's like a whole nother hemisphere of gameplay, right? You can be in these systems, you can do illegal missions, you can, run with these outlaws, and in doing so you get rewards that sort of help you when you go back to regulated space. It sounds really cool. It sounds like it's really going to be a different experience for those who are looking for it. Or if you just avoid outlaw systems altogether, you don't have to deal with any of that. So again, really cool. Ooh, I just thought, and then if you're in like regulated systems and you do like something crazy by accident, right? Then now maybe you'll seek out an outlaw system to try and get one of these forged passports to fix your reputation. Man, all of this sounds really cool. Anyways, sorry, weapon variety for starships. Yep, it's all been rebalanced. It's talking about how the cyclotron ballista can disable the engines of hostile starships. Phase beams can lead shield energy. I mean, that's pretty cool. Very cool. But, man, and look at this, your little squadron. Unique pirate missions. Outlaw systems have their own bespoke bounty master, offering a unique range of procedurally generated missions. See, that sounds like the regular mission board, except the outlaw version. And look at how cool this is. This guy's operating out of his hauler here. I mean, come on, this is peak sci-fi. This is awesome. Dazzling combat effects, of course. They're always upgrading combat effects. Looks good, as always. Looks better and better. Now, this is something I was really happy to see. Planetary pirate raids. So pirates will now intrude into planetary atmospheres and attack buildings and settlements. And then you'll have to get in your ship and take them out. So this looks really cool, first of all. Like pirates attacking your settlement. But it also says buildings. Now, from what I've seen on Twitter, some people have already said that their like non-building or their non-settlement bases have been attacked by pirates. But I wonder if they'll also attack like planetary archives or places like that are like non-player owned. I guess we'll see, but I mean, it sounds pretty cool. Sounds like another one of those like spur of the moment mission type things, where you'll be doing one thing, pirates attack, and maybe you'll decide to take them out yourself in like a atmospheric battle. That sounds pretty cool, and depending on the planetary terrain, it could be really exciting. So I look forward to that. Yeah, just look at how cool that looks. Neato Cablito. So here are the full patch notes. I'm not going to read through all of these. Let me give you sort of like the quick overview. Starships, yep. They've rearranged certain things. Outlaw systems, yep. Forged passports. Cloth simulation, expedition, space combat. Okay, so under space combat, here's where you have some of all the changes to the combat model. So, positron ejector deals slightly ineffective damage to starship shields. Infernaf accelerator deals additional damage to unshielded targets. Stuff like that. Like here, starship rockets now do additional damage to unshielded starship hulls, but significantly reduced damage versus energy shields. So now you use the rockets as more of a finisher, right? After you've depleted their shields, you can use those to take them down. So that's really cool. You have your squadrons, visual effects, of course, and now there's a ton of optimizations and bug fixes here. And I won't go through all of them, but some that I really liked was they fixed some of the issues that came with the Sentinel update. So here it says fix an issue that caused the Sentry to report the player's position to hostile Sentinel drones. That's kind of funny. But the big one here is fixed an issue that could cause the Sentinel quad companion to prevent other Sentinels from spawning. So if you watched my recent Sentinel, either looter shooter or Sentinel buddies video, in both of those I was having a ton of trouble getting Sentinels to spawn. I was trying to like get a royal multi-tool, but I could not get these Sentinels to spawn, so I couldn't get the location. So this looks like it fixes it, and the fix right below it fixed an issue that could cause sentinels to stop spawning during combat, leaving no progression through the wanted levels. I also had this bug, so I would get to level 3 and it would never progress past there. So I would be stuck, you know, not able to find the location of a sentinel pillar. So it looks like this is gonna improve a lot of things. And there's of course other bug fixes and improvements, quality of life. I'm looking forward to jumping in. Hopefully the game's more stable, and yeah. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. I don't normally do this kind of thing, but I just get really excited when I look at patch notes and I just have to talk about them to someone. And my wife already left for work, so I guess that's you guys. But I'm looking forward to this. Let me know if this hit like all the notes you were hoping it would, or if there's something you wish they had added. Obviously, a lot of people wanted on-foot NPCs, like you know, people we could fight in space stations or on planets. But part of me thinks they're never gonna do that, only because the game's rated T, I think, and maybe they're afraid it'll become rated M, or I don't know, or maybe it is a programming issue. You know, maybe it's just difficult. But I kind of don't buy that, because they already have all the character models rigged for combat animations. So it really would just be AI, and they sort of have AI already. But who knows what the hang up on that is. Maybe they just don't want this to be like an overly violent game. But that aside, this is pretty much what I was hoping for. You know, you have pirate stations, new point of interest in space, new types of systems, new ships, combat rebalance, new mission types, contraband, a new career path, new gameplay loops, new quest line. I mean, this is a pretty beefy update for it being, you know, 3.85. So one can only wonder what 3.9 and 4.0 are going to be. But alright, until next time, I've been Kanaju. Thanks as always for supporting my channel. Small channel. Leave a like and subscribe if you're interested in more No Man's Sky content. You know I'm going to be making videos about Outlaws in the coming days and weeks, so look forward to that. Alright, well, have fun out there, and I'll see you next video. Bye!